Hello and welcome back to my fully interactive walkthrough of Pokemon Red. And this is going to be part, well, 6.5. Part 6.5 if you like. It's not going to be part 7 just yet because it's a fully interactive walkthrough and I actually wanted to get your opinions on something for part 7, and I forgot to ask in part 6 with it being such a long and arduous episode. But before we get into that, we just bumped into a new Pokemon, and this is Ekans. It's not new, we've seen some trainers with it, but it's a new wild Pokemon. Now, if you're playing the blue version, you will be looking for an awful long time before you find one of these. Purely because it's a red version exclusive, so you won't find one. The blue equivalent in this area is Sandshrew. If I'm honest, blue got the good end of the deal there. I prefer Sandshrew to Ekans, but Ekans isn't a bad Pokemon, and in fact I used it on my run-through that was on my introductory video. So we're going to try and catch ourselves an Ekans, but we're not going to be using it on this playthrough. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So I've got one Pokeball left, guys, to catch a paralysed level 12 Ekans. Come on. Yes! Got it. Okay, so we got Ekans, which is great. So we've added another Pokedex entry to our Pokedex. It's 6'7". I never had Ekans down as a big Pokemon. 6'7". I mean, that'll be uncoiled, obviously, but still, that's massive. Oh, name drops of other Pokemon in a Pokedex entry. That's quite a rarity, actually, so that's interesting. Now, while we're adding Pokedex entries, we may as well add one more. And what I did in between episodes was I took a Pokemon back out of my computer, which is Jigglypuff, and we're going to use my other Moonstone to evolve it. What? Jigglypuff is evolving, like you weren't expecting it. So here we go. So, we now have a Wigglytuff. So from Jigglypuff to Wigglytuff, which is a great evolutionary line in terms of names. So yeah, that's all we're going to be doing in terms of actual content in this part. The main purpose is to get you guys to vote. There are two things I could do in part 7. I've kind of got a choice here, and I'm torn between the two. The first option is to explore this city, Cerulean City, talk to all the people, go in the houses, find out what we can find out, and then take on the gym leader who lives in here, inside this gym. So if we just avoid this trainer, I will be battling him, but let's just avoid him. So there she is, that's Misty that I'm looking across at now. So we could battle her, which will make for an interesting video, and we'll get our second badge and whatnot. So that's obviously a very viable option. So that's one option, is to explore the city and take on the gym leader. The other option is to head out that way. Now I'm not going to go too far that way because something happens when you go a few more steps up, so I don't want to give anything away by accident. But yeah, basically we could go up this way, up through between those two trees there in the middle of the screen at the top, and take on Route 24 and 25. Now the thing with Route 24 and 25 is this is where I'm going to teach you how to catch Mew, which obviously you can't supposedly catch in Red and Blue, but I'm pretty sure most people are aware there is an exploit. I wouldn't go as far as to call it a glitch, but it's more of an exploit of how the game's programming works, which I suppose is what a glitch is. So yeah, it's a glitch to make a wild Mew appear and attack you. The only difference if I do it first is I'm going to catch 2 before I face Misty. Whereas if I take on Misty first, in the episode after, we'll be catching Mew. Just 1. Alright, so that's the difference. And I'll explain why when we're in part 7, because it'll be easier to explain as we go along. So, in the next episode, we can either head up north through Route 24 and 25, catch ourselves a couple of Mews and whatnot, or we can hang about in Cerulean City and take on Gym Leader Misty. So leave a vote in the comments below. That's pretty much the only purpose of this episode, so please do make sure you vote. Even if you don't really care that much, just toss a coin and leave a vote. You know, let's make it interesting. Let's make this interactive. So, leave a comment saying Misty or Mew, or Jim or Root, or I don't know, whatever you want to do. Leave your reasons if you want to as to why. But for now, I'm going to thank you guys in advance for voting. And I've been Abazer, you've been amazing, and I will see you on Thursday for part 7.